If your heart is a puzzle, let astrology be the missing piece. Welcome to Between Dimensions. Unveil the secrets of love and let the cosmos guide your heart.
Hi, and welcome to Between Dimensions. I'm Monica Gonzalez, an astrologer and spiritual advisor. And today we're going to talk about love. After that Diddy video I did, I thought, that was like dark and deep and heavy, and I just had to shake off that energy. So why not do it by talking about love? But before we get started, let's cleanse the space with some beautiful sound bowls. Yay. Okay. So, what is love? And really, in a nutshell, it's selflessness. It is putting someone else's needs before your own. It is when your dog breaks open the garbage can and the garbage bag and garbage is all over the place that you look at her and you're like, I love you, so okay. Or someone calls you up super distraught and you put everything aside so that you can be, that ear for them and listen to them as they talk about whatever they're going through. Or giving your husband a hug when he's having a bad day at work. It's just setting aside your own needs and wants for someone else, willingly doing it, wanting to be there for them. And it's the most beautiful expression of our souls that we can give to each other and love each other. And in talking about that, I wanted to read this story that my mom's best friend posted on Facebook that just really deeply touched me, and I thought it was the most beautiful expression of love. I have read this 3 times and cried all 3 times. So I might cry now, so sorry about that in advance, but here we go. The other evening, I was grocery shopping in my local supermarket around 6:30 p.m. when an older man suddenly turned the corner into the pasta aisle and placed his hands on my shoulders. Startled, my instinct was to feel anger and tell him not to touch me. But then I noticed he was crying. His face was a picture of distress and confusion. "Do you know where my wife is?" he asked, his voice trembling. "I've been looking for her." I quickly responded that I didn't know, but suggested he check with customer service. I assumed he simply lost her among the aisles, a situation most of us could relate to. But I was wrong. "Where's my wife? She was right here," he said, tears streaming down his cheeks. I felt a pang of sympathy and gently suggested we walk to the customer service counter together. He nodded, visibly shaken. At the counter, the attendant asked for a name. The man looked at me bewildered, as if I held the key to his question. The attendant sighed, exasperated. "Miss, do you have the name?" I explained that I was a stranger and I had no additional information. "Is this a joke?" she replied, her tone sharp. It became painfully clear that this man was not just confused. He was lost in a way that spoke of Alzheimer's. Having cared for my grandfather with the same condition, I recognized the signs all too well. I led him to the food court where we sat down. He was trembling, tears still falling. "Where's my love?" he asked, his voice breaking. My heart ached for him. I asked if he had a cell phone, but he wasn't sure. I gently offered to check his pockets, and he nodded. Carefully, I found a small flip phone and searched through his contacts. One name caught my eye. Daughter, Chrissy. I quickly dialed the number, and a woman answered almost immediately. "Hello?" Her voice was frantic. "I'm with an older man who I believe is your father," I explained, trying to keep my own voice steady. "We're at the supermarket on Lane Street. He's very upset." "On my way," she said urgently. "Can you make sure he doesn't wander off? Thank you, thank you." For the next 20 minutes, I sat with the stranger, holding his hands and wiping his tears. When he shivered, I draped my jacket over his lap. I gave him reassurance and comfort, doing everything I could to keep him grounded. Suddenly, a tall, young woman rushed in, her long black hair flowing behind her. The moment we locked eyes, she rushed over. Thank you," she exclaimed. I had to leave for just an hour, and this happens. I knew I shouldn't have left him. I'm so sorry. She explained that her father sometimes searches for his wife who passed away 13 years ago, and he never stops trying to find her. With gentle hands, she helped him out of his chair, thanking me repeatedly. As they left, I heard him ask once more, "Where's my wife?" My heart ached, but I felt a sense of relief seeing him with his daughter. I share this story not only because it moved me deeply, but to remind us all the majority of people we encounter are strangers. But we share this world. Kindness is a thread that connects us, and it costs nothing to offer. If you see someone in need, don't hesitate to help. You never know the profound impact you can have on another person's life. In the end, I didn't care that I left my shopping cart in the pasta aisle or that dinner would be late. All that mattered was that I had the chance to show kindness to a man who needed it. How beautiful. I just found this story to be so perfect, especially when I wanted to do this video on love. Can you imagine a love that transcends 13 years? A love that transcends memory loss? A love that moves you every day to go searching for them? It's just literally unbelievable that we get to express this powerful emotion. And then the love that this woman showed this man that she didn't know. It's inspiring in a way that I hope touches all of you, because it's what we need to go through this whole crazy experience we call life together. But this is an astrology channel, so let's talk about astrology as well while we're here. I'm going to switch on over to share my screen, and we can walk through the natal astrological chart and go through which houses are mostly indicative of our love life, how we like to be loved, what love means to us, how we want to express it, and just overall compatibility. So let's do it. So now that we understand what love is and how beautiful it can be, how there can be love between romantic partners, family, friends, strangers, let's look at an astrological natal chart and get a better understanding of how we can read this chart to better understand ourselves and others in the realm of love. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. And this is an astrological chart that I just pulled today at 2:15 p.m. It's not associated with anyone. It's just a random chart used for this exercise. This person, as you can see, their sun sign is in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a fire sign that those with this sun sign are generally optimistic, philosophical, straightforward. They can also be restless, tactless, and proud. And when we are looking at an astrological chart in terms of understanding someone's love patterns, we start off in the fifth house. The fifth house is the house of creativity and pleasure. It is where we can gain an understanding of how a person likes to date, what's going to be enjoyable for them, how are they going to express themselves. And in this particular case, we see that anyone who's born on November 23rd, 2024 at 2:15 p.m. would have the planet Mars in the constellation of Leo in the fifth house. And the planet Mars is the warrior planet. It is a planet of action. It's action oriented, it's ambitious, it's a little bit assertive. It's a little bit of an adrenaline kind of energy. It's not the type of person who's going to want to Netflix and chill at home. Like, this is someone who is active and wants to go out. And under the constellation of Leo, you have that energy of like, hey, look at me. Like you're in the spotlight all the time. You love the spotlight. You always want it. This person may even be someone who, because this is the house of creativity, is an artist. They probably are want to be an actor or singer, songwriter. They again love to be in the spotlight, but also are can be a little bit self-centered, can be a little egotistical, very charming, very charismatic, extroverted. So if you are of this type of person, then you are going to want to do activities like you're going to want to go for a run. You're going to want to go for a hike. You might want to be skydiving, bungee jumping, or even going, to a karaoke bar and singing your heart out in front of everyone. Like that is this type of person. If you're dating someone with this, then you have to know, like, they are going to want to be in the spotlight. So, let them have it. Shower them with compliments. They love compliments. They are probably people whose love signs are acts of service and words of affirmation. Um, there could be potential tensions if this person doesn't learn how to share the spotlight and they're dating someone who is also a fiery, extroverted sign. So, if you have those two people together, they're gonna have to like try to figure out like, okay, how do we both get in the spotlight? How can we share this together? If not, then they probably would make a wonderful relationship with someone who's a little bit more extra introverted, who doesn't need to be in the spotlight and just wants to adore them for who they are. That might actually be the better fit. Except most signs that are within the same element tend to like the same element. So someone who is a fire sign is probably going to be drawn to another fire sign. So it might finding an introverted fire sign might be a little difficult, but there's so many different people out there, so who knows. Then we go into the house. You know what? Let's skip over to the eighth house. So the eighth house is the house of sex. If you watched my Diddy video, I said that probably like a bazillion times. It's the house of sex and intimate relationships. So having a Sagittarius sun in the eighth house, you're going to find that this person probably is very in touch with their sexuality. They are probably very comfortable with their sexuality and being intimate. They're probably very open to intimacy. They're also going to intellectualize intimacy because of this Sagittarius energy. They are very philosophical, so they're going to want to understand why um, why does someone possibly like to be intimate with the lights on versus the lights off, or someone who likes to have the covers on or covers off, or someone who's a little bit more of an exhibitionist versus more private. They're going to want to dive deep into that. So you're going to find that this person, if you're dating this person or you are this person, you're going to want to have like super deep conversations like in bed. So it's gonna be like you get into bed and you're gonna talk all night and want to understand this person. You're not gonna be okay with just like a very superficial relationship. Like you want to go deep and have like a soul connection, especially if you choose to be physically intimate. And then finally, we look at the seventh house. The seventh house is the house of romantic relationships and marriage. So you're looking at long-term committed relationships when you talk about the seventh house. And this person has Lilith in Libra in their seventh house. So this is a really interesting dynamic. And this is why I love astrology, because you have these two opposing signs that meet each other, and how it manifests in the real world can be really interesting. So Lilith, as I mentioned also in the Diddy video, if you watch that, is represents our animalistic urges. So you're talking about sexuality, um, maybe like someone who is quick-tempered, someone who is could be very sensitive, uh, Lilith is also fight or flight. So if you get triggered, this person might like leave like that, or they might be ready to like go at it. So, but to have it in the Libra energy, Libra is like the exact opposite, which is why this is so interesting. It is the energy of balance and fairness and it's like wanting to hear both sides without judgment. Two it's the energy of coming together and understanding each other. So a person with this placement in their house might feel this push and pull of harmony and chaos. So the harmony of Libra and then the chaos of Lilith. And trying to figure out that balance is going to be a challenge. It'll be challenging, but if you can find that, then you're probably going to find a person who is going to be really passionate and intense, probably fiercely loyal. But if you don't find that balance, then you can find someone who might be a little bit possessive, like I mentioned, insecure. They might be obsessive. So, and I would hope that this person, whoever they are, would look at their astrology sign and recognize these traits within them, and then they can, you know, learn how to balance their emotions to take on more of that Libra energy than the Lilith energy. Um, you're also going to have a person who's very interested in the taboo and the forbidden. They might want to push the boundaries on the relationship and into places that are not possibly acceptable by society. So they may be interested in um, thruples or just more like taboo areas of a relationship that are not conventional. Um, we also, though, have to recognize that Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus is the planet of love and beauty. So, again, with if you do have this placement in your chart, just learn to tap into that Libra energy to offset the Lilith energy. So you're bringing in more love and more balance and more fairness into a relationship. And then you can have a beautiful, wonderful, long-term committed relationship. So, that's basically the three houses you want to look at when you're thinking about love and finding love in your chart. It's the fifth house, the seventh house, and the eighth house. And if you want to deep dive into this, there's just so much more here. So if you see that Mars is trining the sun. So there is this energy here that's synergistic between the Mars planet and your sun. So this person is going to display a lot more of those like high energy, high activity traits because it's trining the sun, which is the star that expresses, who you are in the outward world. And then also we have Lilith that is opposite Chiron. Lilith, as I mentioned, the animalistic urges, opposite healing. Chiron is the celestial object of healing. So that's a really interesting tension that's there. But we could dive into that if you decide you want to have a natal reading or a synastry reading or a transit reading. You can reach out to me. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You can message me there or message me on my email betweendimensions111@gmail.com. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Follow me on whatever platform you're interested in. And if you are watching this, please note this is for entertainment purposes only. These are strictly my opinions on how to read this chart. There's no bearings on this in reality or facts. So, um, it's just to enjoy and hopefully gain a little more insight in yourself, in astrology, and understand how you can use this tool to better understand yourself or your partner or both. Anyways, guys, this is it for today. Love you all. Bye.